Hi there, I'm Rex King, and this is Rex King Reviews, where I look at films currently in theaters. Cyrano. This is the story of Cyrano de Bergerac, a poet soldier who gets hung up on his own deformity, quote unquote deformity. He's a little person in this movie. He's played by Peter Dinklage. I hope that's the right term. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I just don't know what term to use, so that's the term I'm going to be using for this review. And because of that, he has this anxiety about confessing his love for a beautiful woman by the name of Roxanne. He loves her completely, but is too afraid to admit it because he believes that she could never love someone with his quote unquote deformity, and even if she did, society would never accept it. This is further complicated by the fact that Roxanne meets and almost immediately falls in love with this other soldier from his own regiment named Christian. However, Christian is inarticulate. He can't really say what he means, even though he does feel the same way towards Roxanne. Now, Cyrano comes up with this plan that he will help this soldier by writing notes for him to make his words come across. In exchange, basically, Cyrano gets to help him with Roxanne and, in a way, gets to write to Roxanne and tell Roxanne the way he feels without him actually being the one telling the feelings in a weird way. This film is really good. Peter Dinklage is spectacular as Cyrano, and I really enjoyed his performance here. He brings a lot of depth to the character and a lot of emotional weight to this character. And I couldn't see any other actor playing this role. Now, the decision to make him a little person in this film is a little different, but I think it translates well. Now, in the traditional story, Cyrano de Bergerac is basically this guy with this long nose, and that's his quote unquote deformity. But that doesn't really translate well for a modern audience in film. So I think this casting choice works for what they wanted to portray. The fact that getting hung up on your own anxieties about yourself can hinder you, and even though your personality may be great, if you get hindered on your own physical appearance, or if you get hindered on your own personality, you hinder yourself completely in the pursuits that you want to go after. In this case, the love of a woman. Uh, and I like that. I really enjoyed that theme, that story. I can kind of relate. I mean, my entire life I've been overweight, and because of that, I've kind of been ostracized by society to a degree, and I understand the need to fall back on your social anxieties and kind of distance yourself and go like, there's no way I can be accepted because of this or another reason of some type. I understand that, and I completely can relate to that type of character. So this worked for me. Now, this film's also a musical, and I know that's probably groan inducing to some of people. To me, I loved it. I actually loved almost all the songs in it. Um, I think my favorite one is towards the beginning when Cyrano does a sword fight. He ends up singing during it, and I really enjoyed it. There are some really good ballads as well, though, so it's really tough to pick my favorite. And I'll be honest, I don't think there was a single song that I felt was weak. I mean, don't get me wrong, none of these songs are going to top the charts anytime soon, like we don't talk about Bruno, but they're really stellar in my opinion. If you haven't listened to the soundtrack and want to give it a listen to before you go see the film, I kind of recommend it. It's really good. Um, that being said, I also recommend you just see the movie because I loved it. There were a lot of good emotional moments, and a lot of times when I was worried the movie was going to lose me, it hooked me right back in through Peter Dinklage's performance. And the rest of the cast does a stellar job, but at the end of the day, this is his movie, and he does fantastic here. I loved him in this movie, and I really think that this shows his depth as an actor. And I really hope people go to see this one because his performance alone, the action that he goes through, the emotion he portrays, it makes it all worth it. I I give this film a solid 9 out of 10. I struggle to find any one particular problem I have. I almost want to give it a 10 out of 10. I guess if I was going to list a reason for why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10, it would probably be for the fact that Christian is more of a plot device than he is an actual character, and that drives me a little bit nuts. Also, I didn't feel like there needed to be a bad guy when there was one, but I can kind of see, again, why you would do this. Now, the fact about Christian being more of a plot device than a character, that's more to do with the original story than the movie, but I feel like we need more to go on with him, in my opinion. And the addition of a villain, though I feel like kind of hinders the film, I can again see why they did it. Mainly due to the fact that most modern audiences need a villain in a story like this. Again, guys, if you haven't seen this one, check it out. I really enjoyed it. I'm hoping to see Batman tomorrow and watch and review that. But I'll be honest, I'm going to have this movie in my head the entire time. As I said earlier, 9 out of 10. See you next time.